We're getting 3 new Cyberpunk games!
One of them is multiplayer though.
Hey! So this all happened coming in yesterday, but according to an IGN article, which actually got their information from a Polish business article called Bankier. This is coming out saying that there's 3 new Cyberpunk games in development right now. Now, as Liz said before, one of them is a multiplayer game, but let's talk about this information.
One of the games, of course, is Cyberpunk 2077, which is set to release April 16th, 2020, and will have Keanu Reeves in it as one of the main roles.
Now, like we said, one of the games is going to be Cyberpunk 2077, and even more so, one of these games is not the Witcher 3 size DLCs that are going to be releasing for Cyberpunk 2077. But keep that in mind too, that Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be so massive that it's going to have Witcher 3 sized DLCs coming out for the game.
One of the 3 games is, of course, the multiplayer mode for Cyberpunk 2077, which is being led by a 40-person team. Some speculate that we will learn more about this mode come PAX West in August.
So along with those Witcher 3 sized DLCs coming for Cyberpunk 2077, we're getting a standalone multiplayer mode for Cyberpunk 2077. So that's even gonna be more massive. And keep in mind, 2 of those 3 games for the Cyberpunk 2077 is, of course, the base game, Cyberpunk, and the standalone multiplayer mode. But now this 3rd game is a bit of a mystery. No one really knows what it is, but we do know that it's set in the Cyberpunk 2077 universe. This could be a spin-off game, this could be another character within it, but we do know from the CEO, Piotr
Nalubowitz.
Yeah. So from the CEO, from the CD Projekt Red, he has said that this game is supposed to be treated as a big and innovative project. So this could even be a spin-off game. This doesn't necessarily mean a Cyberpunk 2077 sequel, but what it does mean is that it's set in the Cyberpunk 2077 universe.
CD Projekt Red also has 2 other teams working on the Witcher 3 card game Gwent, and another team working on an unannounced mobile game.
So what we know from these interviews given by Bankier, I guess that's how you say it, I'm not Polish, but from what we know that these 3 games are currently in development. So we have that base game, that's number 1. Cyberpunk 2077, we have a multiplayer mode, and we have this spin-off game, but now there's 2 other teams, right? So it sounds like CD Projekt Red is working on a lot. So if you're a fan of CD Projekt Red, you're actually going to enjoy this time in your life because there's going to be so many games coming out of your favorite developing company. So what do you think about all this?
I think they're really working hard to get as much out there for the gamers, for their community that are supporting them and there for them. And it sounds like they are really dedicated to this new step in their company.
It sounds like from all of this, they are definitely moving on from the Witcher series and they're putting all of their focus, all of their eggs in the Cyberpunk basket. Put those eggs in, pow! So, yeah. So, this is really good news. It sounds like they're putting all of their eggs in the Cyberpunk basket. However, this does sound like a lot of work for the Cyberpunk team.
This seems like a lot of projects to tackle with a lot of teams, especially for a company if, as you remember, was accused of having a hostile work environment just a few years ago.
That's right. A couple years back, the heads of CD Projekt Red were accused of having a hostile work environment, and a lot of people who were working for CD Projekt Red went on Glassdoor to report this and to tell anybody that want to apply to CD Projekt Red that they shouldn't, and they went on blast on Glassdoor. However, the studio responded by saying that this is just the way things are done and the way they do business is just not for everybody. And they went on reports and all these PRs to say that, yes, we do work a lot here, but this is the way we do business. And sometimes that's just not for everybody.
Which seems a little harsh, but the games coming out of this studio never seem to fail the gaming community. And they seem to be continuing on this theory and this way of working with 5 different teams working on 5 different projects.
So yeah, keep that in mind that these 3 different games are being worked by 3 different teams. But from the looks of it, it really seems like they're really trying to develop an awesome game out of Cyberpunk 2077. And it sounds like they're giving you a mega multiplayer experience with a 40-person team involved, as well as a possible spin-off to the Cyberpunk 2077 story by setting it in the same universe as this game. But let's talk a little bit about what we think this next game is going to be.
You could speculate that this final mystery game is part of that massive DLC pack, but they did mention that separately, so that would probably mean that this is something entirely different and separate from the DLCs.
What this most likely could be is more like the Wolfenstein and Dishonored, separate stories within their own universes. Wolfenstein had Young Blood, as well as Dishonored had Death of the Outsider. So this could be something like that, where Dishonored and Death of the Outsider are in the same universe, but they were 2 separate games. So this could be in the same realm as that, where there could be Cyberpunk 2077 and something along the lines of a Young Blood or a Death of the Outsider.
All in all, this makes it seem that CD Projekt Red has moved on from the Witcher series and is fully focused on the Cyberpunk series.
And we're going to see more details about these projects in the very near future, as we're going to see more of Cyberpunk 2077 and PAX West coming this August, and I'm sure we're going to see more on Twitter as more leaks are going to come out. But this is fantastic news that they're all in on Cyberpunk, as they're going to get you 3 new games. That massive multiplayer project, I cannot wait to play.
I am ready for the base game, Cyberpunk 2077. It looks awesome, and I'm super excited to get into playing it.
Yes, 2020 is going to creep up on us sooner than we think, so there's a lot to be excited about. Alright everybody, if you enjoyed this video, definitely give it a like and subscribe to the channel, because we're going to have news stories like this on the channel, as well as our weekly podcast, the Games and Groceries podcast, where we just had Nick DePalo on as a guest last week, where we talked about content consumption and how we can break the mold of that.
Thanks for joining us, and see you next time.
Bye-bye.